10 seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Dire team ban. Radiant team ban.
I should have seen that one coming.
Radiant team pick. Ten seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining.
Elder Titan.
Dire team
Mirana.
Shadow Demon.
Radiant team pick. Ten seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Reserve time.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the WCA 2016 EU Qualifiers presented by Betway. We are here with game number 2 between Empire as well as Fantastic.Five. Our potential last game of the series if Fantastic.Five cannot get it together and take us to game number 3. And of course, this is the lower bracket, so Fantastic.Five are here on the brink after 3 games in a row in which they were very close to being able to maybe take a set of racks, take out the enemy team, and win the game. They've lost 3 close ones right in a row, and it's been really tough for them. Let's see if they can hold on as we jump into the draft for game number 2 of this series. And Purge, what do you think about Fantastic.Five's chances, in particular in this game?
God, I love their strategies. I must say, I'm a Fantastic.Five fan. I love teams that theorycraft. I think the best ones that stand out to me are Alliance or Big Theory Crafters. It seems a lot of cool stuff. Fantastic.Five is getting up there, man, and this is not too surprising. I mean, they got Illidan. He's like the theorycraft carry of the world. I'm gonna play Core Weaver and buy an Ag's first item. The always Venge carry for like literally years. I like them, man. I would love to see them win, but they can't not be tilted after 3 losses in a row. And their defense, though, I mean, playing against a team that did qualify for TI, that's not too bad. They almost beat them.
Yeah. I mean, it was
Empire
as close as the
but
games. Again, you know, Fantastic.Five and Escape kind of have that history going back to the TI6 qualifiers where Fantastic.Five had a chance to get to TI and that tiebreaker. So it's kind of not super shocking that Fantastic.Five are having such trouble, like you said, with TI qualifiers. And with Empire, who in the beginning of the game, Biposhka made some outstanding play. In fact, that entire team from Empire, you know, with maybe the exception of the mid game, they rocked it, really.
Dude, we literally have to go back and make clips of like those 2 times. They were actually insane both times, in my opinion.
Yeah, there were some.
I'd have to like look at them. Maybe who knows? Maybe F5 missed some auto attacks. But
torrented them twice. It was once he was in the dire jungle. He torrented them when they were walking down the stairs.
The Radiant one was crazier, I think.
Yes,
but
I think so too. Yeah.
Both were really good.
Yeah. It was some fun stuff to watch, to be honest, and hopefully Biposhka can play heroes like that and have such a factor in the game, although Fantastic.Five will ban out the Kunkka this time. Real quick, before we get back into the second phase of the draft, we want to mention, make sure you guys check out www.betway.com. Every new customer that uses the banner below to sign up will receive a free €5 bet. Of course, Betway is a fully licensed and real money betting service, and all players must be 18 years and older to be, of course, eligible to play on Betway.com. And
you know,
my
take on that, Mod. My take on that is that I'm happy that there are legit betting sites that are doing it the legal way. I'm down with that shit.
Yes.
I know it's I know it only works with a couple countries right now, but I think that's commendable. Do shit legal, guys.
I just enjoy the fact that they put a disclaimer down too. Like, listen, hey, by the way, we actually we exist in real common law, and make sure that you're not an idiot and sign up at somewhere that you're not supposed to be.
Yeah, I don't like feeling dirty pushing things that are shady.
Yeah.
I will stop talking about that there.
Okay. Well, let's
Just
move
for
on to
sponsor
the
reasons.
game. I'll
still take your money. Give me your money.
Jesus Christ, you freaking sellout! All right, Empire's gonna be picking up their next tier here. 12 seconds left in reserve time right now. 2 minutes and 8 seconds left, or actually 2 minutes and 8 seconds of reserve time, I should say. They'll pick up the axe. They have axe. I guess if they have the dazzle, it would be the common combo with the axe shadow demon dazzle combo, but instead they have the axe SD combo, which is still pretty common. And then the Marauder to help out with arrows as well, and then I think Axe is a good choice against the Dazzle in particular. I kind of like it.
Yeah, definitely is very good, and there's no Oracle either, so in some ways there's basically no Axe solution other than keeping people healed up. We'll see if it works out though. Dazzle Darkseer Elder Titan is pretty strong for early roaming and engagements. You know, I was watching the last game and I was like, you know what, this team kind of reminds me of MVP Phoenix draft, dude. This is a fucking MVP Phoenix draft right here.
I go
Phantom
like CI6 though, and I'm like, every time they picked Phantom Assassin, it was bad for Kilo.
That is not. Just shut your mouth.
Well, on the
that
main
is
stage,
so
it
false.
was true.
Shut your mouth, dude.
Except
that
for
was
when they
so
played
wrong.
against OG.
Literally,
that was
dude,
the
they
one
literally
series.
won games. The way they played PA is the right way to play PA, and most teams don't play right. Yes,
I don't disagree with you.
They wore out their strategy against a team that's very good at countering strategies, aka Wings, and Wings demolished it. But that's because Wings is amazing, not because played PA the wrong way.
Well, another team
As the theory
played them.
crafter, fuck you, mod. That's all I have to
Didn't
say.
Fnatic play them? They played PA. I can't remember. If it was Fnatic or
I
not.
think so, but I think they got eliminated by didn't Wings go all the way through winner bracket? I
Wings
think Wings
went
knocked
through winner bracket.
Okay, so this is what happened. So they beat OG or whatever, and then they lost to Wings, and then they tried to play the strat again against Fnatic, and Fnatic also had it semi-figured out at that point. But Wings crushed it first really hard.
Okay. So you're telling me it took Wings figuring out the strat for everyone else to deal with the strat?
Yeah,
then?
I mean, that's what happens to Phoenix every single TI. They play like one strat really well, and then by the time they get around top 6, it's figured out and they get beat because they don't pivot. But they just upset good teams with it because they understand that one strat really well.
If they had 2 good strats, then look out. Not to say that they don't. I just feel like when they're that comfortable with something on the main stage, I feel like you kind of have to go with it. And if it gets figured out, then you do your best. But the Phantom Assassin choice altogether, it was confusing to me. I didn't really see the first OG series, so I can't remember what exactly was
Well, all right,
good
we're
about
talking
it.
about this way too long. Let's talk about it this game.
Okay.
This game is not nearly as good. The heroes that they combo it with are not fantastic. I like it with Darkseer, but the value in PA is basically like reinitiating repeatedly, in my opinion. And Fantastic.Five kind of has more of a siege draft now. I guess Dragon Knight is kind of good at like weaving in and out as well, but you require going like Blink Dagger and stuff like that. And Undying's actually going to be really problematic for that. I think the Undying was a beautiful pick this game. Really messes with what Fantastic.Five wants to do.
You mentioned weaving in and out. Obviously, Phantom Assassin, that's what she thrives on, is when you Phantom Strike up, going in, and just hopefully getting some crits, and then just kind of kiting around, using your Stifling Dagger, going back in again as well when you have your Phantom Strike up. And what way do you think does Undying counter this the best? Why is it such a good Undying game for Empire?
A lot of melee heroes, so your decays, you're going to get more heroes on average. Tombstone's also going to limit mobility. It's one of the things that's good about PAs, is her ability to weave in and out of combat. So if there's a Tombstone and they're melee heroes and they can't easily kill the tomb, then they're going to be less happy footed, I guess. They won't move around the fight as well.
Mm-hmm.
So that's really the big thing. And there's also the possibility that Illidan's going to play PA a different way that we haven't seen before, but I genuinely feel like the phase Aquila into Deso build or phase Aquila Vanguard into Deso is the best way to play.
I think they did phase Vlad's Deso one game, I believe.
Yes,
for
which kind of offsets either the lack of HP, gives you some armor, makes your team better early, stuff like that. It's decent. I personally like Vanguard better for the laning style, but if you're doing like 5-man shit, Vlad's is easily better.
Okay. Well, we'll have to see how Illidan is in fact going to play it. You mentioned that he could theoretically play it differently, and we'll wait and see how it does end up being played.
We'll see. It's all going to come down to the what the Maposhka does this game on Undying. If he gets a lot going in the offlane with the axe, then they could just be completely shut down, and PA is going to show to be a really bad hero if her survivability isn't very high by the time they get Ags on pot.
Yeah, I mean, this is a very good dual lane. I actually do like the Axe Undying a lot. I really like any dual lane with Undying and another, say, tanky hero or another hero that has the potential to thrive in like an aggressive lane like this. But I am a bit afraid with a Dazzle, Elder Titan, dual lane, dual support on top of the fact that you have a PA down here. You know, it is 3 heroes versus 2. There's a potential chance for you to get kind of wiped off the face of the planet if you maybe misplay this lane if you're Empire, so they kind of have to be careful with how this goes. But I'm excited to see what they do in this lane.
We'll see if they can get a D ward. There's a dire ward over in their jungle. That kind of movement action is going to be pretty important. They need to have that kind of beat. Did their sentry spot it? Oh, just barely
nope,
out of
just
sight.
out of range.
The mind games you can do for wards in the safe lane is huge, and the fact that their ward didn't go down is massive.
We got the Chrome River painting now going on.
Damage on Armen here. He could trade with Axe, but it's dangerous.
Ooh, Always Wanna Fly has 3 poison, 4 poison stacks. He's dead. It's first blood for King R. He's just a sniper with the Shadow Poison and actually gets the kill on Pyre with a good start.
It's really nicely done. They have to basically kill him before he's level 2. Darkseer's trying to push the limit, probably got killed. I didn't catch the you.
I caught the tail end of it.
This tri-lane's getting crazy though. Ghost Stick's really low, especially with the Orb of Venom.
Ooh, double
damage.
Decay. And yeah,
girl.
Ghost Stick's dead. Yeah, they get the kill with Armen and of course Illidan. And even with the 4 stacks of Decay, I think Miposhka actually might die. That Decay might save his life, but it looks like that's not going to be the case. That's insane.
Dude, Armen's so good.
Spirit.
Actually, Armen is actually so good. That was basically all him. He grabbed damage from the illusions, constantly playing it the right way, making sure he got good damage on the axe without trading badly. He just can't look at this all this damage he's getting from his spirit. It's so good.
You know, Ghost Stick walked into the spirit. He's gonna have an increased amount of damage. He got another stack coming out from
double damage. They can kill him right now.
Yeah, they're going to try to go and Ghost Stick again.
Damage.
Look at the staple gun going to work. There's the poison touch. Another double decay will come out. Another astral to get more damage coming through. And Ghost Stick, the Zorb gets up from Miposhka. They'll try to turn this. Armen now has to run. Miposhka too strong. They'll go for another decay. And Armen barely staying alive. So the other decay, I think, did end up wearing off at that period of time. And if Miposhka had this Yinchuan earlier, oh my lord, what he could do with it.
No kidding. I think they dropped the ball a little bit. PA needed to be there. Oh, this could be a dead.
He's
so blocked. What the hell's happening?
Oh, they just timed that. Well, they got the arrow at the very least. That's fine. Yep, BZZ will fall nonetheless, but Miposhka did miss the decay. It was kind of a miscommunication there. But still, that's at least a kill that's made up for. You know, he missed out on the kills bottom. He did die, but rotating mid to help out is pretty significant. They're going again, and Ghost Stick's gonna fall once more. My god.
And he would have died there too. If he didn't get the last hit, he would have had to last hit a creep or Axe. So sick. Oh, he's just dead.
Yeah, Miposhka, Stifling Dagger. He's gonna have to try to deny himself here. He could go for the case again and keep him alive. Oh, that was a pretty good juke. Stops up and ready. They need to get it off, but it's not there in time. That is a great juke. And it's Miposhka again that does it. Ooh. Oh my god, how does this guy keep doing this and stuff?
He is really good, honestly. But I think Armen has been playing amazing too. He's such a good support. Playing the limits of his hero perfectly. He's basically making Axe look like the squishiest hero ever.
Okay, so they are winning the bottom lane, but Illidan is suffering in CS. He's 8 last hits right now. Sure, you're getting a couple of kills and assists. Well, we're really only assists. You have the Jug free-farming top lane with 23 last hits. You have the mid lane. They did get the kill in the DK, so Undershock should have the advantage. So they're theoretically winning 2 lanes, I would say, at this point.
Yeah, so you're right in that PA is behind in net worth, in last hits, all that stuff. But the important thing is that 2 heroes that went to the off lane had a really bad start. And Undying can transition decently if you roam with them well and impact team fights in a good way. But just the fact that they've limited those 2 heroes' impact is massive. That means 3 heroes for F5 are doing pretty well. Like the supports are doing great right now, for example. Can they kill him with
I don't think I mean, the triple decay will help, but he's going to get stomped up. I don't think he's got another TP juke in him here. He probably doesn't need one, apparently, as they don't want to die behind the tier 1 tower.
Well, the issue was that the Iron Shell woke him up right away, so they didn't even have 2 seconds to gap close with 4 heroes. If they got closer, they could kill them. The Iron Shell kind of ruined that. And Dragon Knight also has no stun. He's only level 4 here. That cost him a lot, actually. Those 4 heroes rotating for that.
Was Ghost Stick at the bottom lane when that was happening? I don't think he was getting that much out of the lane if he was.
He's just been jungling, I'm sure. He basically said, screw this, I'm getting wrecked in this lane.
which is the right decision, I think. And he'll be able to make his way back up to the top of the CS charts later on down the road. Undying will take the experience bottom, which is something like you said. He could get back in the game. He's not going to be roaming around, which is what you mentioned. He could TP in, and the thing is, he doesn't have Tombstone. Like, he's at level 3 now. He's holding a skill point, so he can get it now. But, you know, getting an early point in Solar might have been not the super detrimental, but we'll see how it goes.
It's a good skill point. I mean, Undying gets 2 nukes this way, and Tombstone is a strong skill, but it's kind of iffy sometimes early. It puts you very much on a cooldown. You know, you drop Tombstone, and you're like, well, let's hope win the fight. And then if they disengage or they kill the tomb right away, then your hero's pretty worth it. In fact, I actually watched Synderen play a pub the other day on Undying. I don't know if he's streaming it or not, but he maxed out Decay and Soul Rip pretty early, I think, and just delayed Tombstone heavily. And it actually looked quite good. He just transitioned later into Flesh Golem. He eventually got Tomb, but he just got a lot of stuff done in the early game. You become this like tanky hero that almost never dies, and especially with this many melee heroes, some build like that might actually be worth it.
Yeah, and we'll see if Baposhka is going to head down that route, but he is thinking very carefully about what he's going to put his third point into for now. So we'll keep our eyes tabbed on Baposhka down to that bottom lane. Meanwhile, Afterlife at the top lane, again, complete free farm, 42 CS at 5 minutes and 50 seconds, and pushing into that tier 1 tower top lane with no TPs coming in. In fact, no sign of a TP. He has his healing ward up, and he's just trying to push the tower with the healing ward at himself. As there's a kill from Undershock, as Always Wanna Fly gets caught. A very big kill. A Darkseer going down early, I think, is pretty significant.
Yeah, Always Wanna Fly having a tough time. I know he played support in the past, but he's kind of been missing the mark as offlane.
Good arrow. Do they have the block in? It doesn't matter. They get the kill. He tried to stomp, the double kill, and they keep their Observer alive. So they'll have to commit another sentry for F5 to D-War this. Oh, man. Another great start from Fantastic.Five that might end poorly here. Well, it's a little early to say, obviously, but still, it looked a lot better a couple minutes ago.
King R's been owning. He had a smoke approach with that, so it wasn't really anything Armin could do about that. But look at the deny now. Sentry goes down. Fortunate for them to cost them 200 gold for that, especially losing the hero. There's just so much good synergy with what Empire has. You know, they've got Soul Catcher, which amps up any single target damage or any damage at all that Mirana's doing. And then they've got 2 heroes that can save. They've got Shadow Demon save, they've got Healing Ward, and they're going to have Soul Rip from Undying. So for some of their tanky wars, they can really get more longevity in their team fights this game.
Top lane, Always Wanna Fly going toe-to-toe with Afterlife. Afterlife out of mana to go for the Omni Slash. If he had it, he'd go for this kill. The Aquila not going to be there. Always Wanna Fly. Meanwhile, there's going to be a fight mid lane as Undershock is getting caught. There's the Breathe Fire, and Undershock will fall. Moonlight Shadow will not save him. Meanwhile, they will get that kill as we move back to the Darkseer. Gets caught out and does end up falling to what seems to be the Jug and just right-click damage back towards mid. We're looking at Yol, who will TP away as the Tag was just being a nuisance as he did steal up the Tombstone. And back and forth we go. Some interesting trades. Obviously, the biggest kill being the Mirana going down to that mid lane, I think.
They really did pick a great dual lane against Darkseer, though. It wasn't Darkseer picked like first 2 picks or something like that?
I want to say yes. At least first 3.
Jug is one of the best carries by far against Darkseer, just for the fact that he can spin to kill a creep wave and not take Iron Shell damage in the meantime, and he can heal with his healing ward. And having a hero that has the ability to just like disrupt during Surge and do tons of magic damage with Shadow Poison just makes it very tough for a Darkseer to lane.
That's a tough matchup. And, well, the Darkseer he's actually now below the Axe in terms of net worth. We talked about how much the Axe has struggled. Obviously, Ghostic has been in the jungle for a long period of time, but it's definitely not a good sign for the Darkseer sitting below. Well, he just got to 2,000 net worth now. So,
it's like PA is going for Vlad's this game. Like we said before, just very, very good team fight. The extra armor is huge in the early game. It won't work very well against nukes though, and that's sometimes where I think this build is bad, is because it doesn't increase your overall HP, where something like a Vanguard would make you more survivable against a double Starstorm. And can you survive this gank is the big question. It's gonna be hard.
Wait and see. The Axe doesn't have a Blink Dagger, but they can set this up with a disruption. However, Illidan, will he come to the creep wave? If he does, they're going to pop up the Demonic Purge, and he's going to get caught. Ooh, that call did not connect with the jump away. They'll use the disruption. They've got the Tombstone. That will reset his Phantom Strike, but the cooldown is still too long for 3 seconds, and he ends up falling to the Shadow Demon.
Yeah, it's the downside of PA, basically. If there's no one else to Blink Strike to, you are a very immobile hero. Phase Boots offsets that a bit, but very straightforward kill there on him. They're really utilizing their smokes well. They're getting huge kills every time. But with BZZ picking up the mid tower in the meantime, it's not going terrible for F5.
Right. They still have two of the top 3 in net worth, although the net worth advantage is Empire's with 1,000. At 10 minutes into the game, that's not an insane amount. It's just something that you have to concern yourself with. Again, a lot of that gold is maybe going the way of the Jug getting that free farm. You can see he has a 600 gold advantage over the next closest person. The DK, in fact, is the top in net worth coming out for Fantastic.Five. He does need, an item to get online. They're going to push. They're going to use the Moonlight Shadow. It looks like Yol. There's a sentry there, and if he had vision of this, they might see this. But
see it.
They TP down our men.
They need another sentry down, though.
Oh, they're going to find Illidan. Call, it's going to get off in time. Shadow Wave down enough. Oh, great stuff on the 3, but the disruption is there. Can they find the Culling Blade? Yes, they can. Down for 34. He does have buyback if they do decide to dive too far. Always When to Fly also rotates in. But in the end, it's going to be just the 1-0 trade as Afterlife finishes off the tower, or looks to finish off the tower top lane.
I feel so uncomfortable by the fact that Illidan went in there. I really didn't see them jumping in on that, but you can't be the first one in as a PA. You gotta get out of there.
Always Want to Fly, leap forward. Starstorm should be there. It's the arrow that's going to go through. He cancels the shot. Now there's going to be the disruption. The arrow hits perfectly. Yol's been caught by it, but there's not any further damage. They TP in the Elder Dragon formed up. BZZ looking for the Dragon Tail, but it's a haste rune for Undershock. Instead, they want King R. Not the best target. He's juking his way through the tree line, going for the TP, and not in time. Close, but no cigar, King R. Not enough to be pushed to you, I'm afraid.
He's been owning too bad, so now he gave away killing spree to Dazzle, so good on him. Yol actually has been playing really well this game. Interesting skill build. He went for 3 poison touch, skipping Grave entirely, but that's just because of the axe. At some point, I'd like him to get 1 Grave point minimum. That way, if axe isn't there when there's a gank, that he can actually save somebody. But poison touch is getting to be a better and better ability as it gets mini nerfed or mini buffed and mini buffed. Almost
they nerfed that ability a while ago. A pretty long time ago. I can't remember.
Dude, it's had so many buffs. 70 mana to cast that spell right now. Yeah. And with 4 skill points, it's a 1-second stun. Delayed, of course, and it does like 360 physical damage too, level 4. It's not terrible.
I could see Dazzle starting to max this out more and more often.
No, it's bad, honestly. It's really bad skill. And Shadow Wave just does so much more in terms of farm potential too. Like Poison Touch in a lot of ways is just a really bad skill, but
in comparison,
it's getting there. It makes me want to skill it. I still recognize that it's bad, but I want to skill it.
Ghost Sick is very close to his Blink Dagger. TPs were coming in bottom. They've canceled them, though, in favor of looking for an arrow on mid, which they find, but there is some help from BZZ there on Undershock. Will be able to leap away. Also has a regen rune if need be. But Afterlife continues to farm top lane with the help of course, the Shadow Demon as well.
The ward here is really huge. It's really nicely done. Oh, he ultied it.
That is a dead
trigger. Do that. I need to do that. Why don't I ever do that?
Slash coming in, gets the kill solo onto that poor Darkseer, and Afterlife will TP home with no issues, and now they've found Yol as well. Plenty of damage between them, both Miposhka and King R with the amount of nuke damage they have.
I mean, if he just had a Grave Point and a TP scroll there, he wouldn't have died. That was kind of... I'm sure Shadow Demon's like, wow, he didn't Grave in time. That was stupid. He just doesn't have it.
Makes it sound so much easier, too. And it would have been tier 1 tower. I'm surprised they're pushing this in deny range. There's no creep wave here. Arrow's going to come on through, but it won't connect. They will hit a creep, and always when it flies in with the Darkseer Iron Shell. Deny range, it's getting pushed down and will be denied. It looks like
denied stolen. What a son of a bitch.
Yeah.
Get a fantasy point for that too?
I don't know. I don't pay enough attention to fantasy to know about that.
Wow, what are you talking about? You definitely pay a lot of attention to fantasy.
Oh my, that's a great joke, Kevin. You're a comedian, a real funny guy.
I'm not sure if you're flaming me or not. I thought it was a good burn.
I kind of am.
It wasn't like a mean burn. Like the best burns are the ones that are like very tongue-in-cheek, like casual, like not actually serious.
I mean, it was a burn. It burned well enough that it actually upset me that way. That's why I was flaming you. I mean, a little bit.
There's nothing wrong with playing WoW. Come on.
Can they kill Afterlife? Getting caught, Blade Fury, Earth Splitter. Yeah, that'll do the job.
That was really smart actually by Armen to ulti that right away. Because if he just spun TP'd, he would have gotten out. But it goes through BKB. Really smart move there.
And that provides
honestly, guys, I'm not trying to just circle jerk him. He's actually just making like next level plays con. It really is. Like he's doing so many smart things.
Purge bias caster or something like that. XD Twitch memes, something. I don't know, dude.
Exactly.
I completely agree with
to go
you.
with
I completely agree with you. I want to point out as Ghostic is actually getting wrecked bottom. They
damage.
dropped the wall too, and that is some serious work they're putting in. Niposhka will save himself for a moment. You could also see King R was waiting in the tree line with an Invisor, and he's like, nope, not deal with that. That's all you guys. See you later. You guys could take that death.
It was a
Oh
nice
my
approach
god, he hit the arrow onto BZZ. He's TPing though, so.
He's like, nice job, dude. I'm in the trees.
I'm gone. Oh well.
I almost wish that when he TP'd out that he would have just sat in the jungle instead and farmed, because by showing in the lane, now they know that he's not there anymore.
Yeah.
If he just put a jungle, they might have actually spent like 30 seconds there. That was actually a very, very small mistake, but that would have been really sick.
But what can you do?
Like, I want them lane creeps, dude.
Does Illidan just have this Vlads and Blightstone, or does he have more in the career?
He's quite underfarmed, really.
Okay.
But he'll go Deso next, most likely. He needs to keep getting levels because his strength is very low. His strength gain is low, which means he's still very vulnerable to things like Soulcatcher nukes.
Oh,
but once he gets like survivability after the Deso, he's more than fine. And even right now, his damage is completely fine because he has Iron Shell. It really offsets a lot of PA's early game weaknesses.
Well, the Iron Shell. Some good work done. Now, always one flies trying to catch up. Next on its way, I think. Yep, that's the full mech recipe coming out now. A little bit late, but not too so much so. I think it's just been a tough game for him, dying a couple of times. He's rectified those deaths for the most part. Still 4 deaths is not great in the beginning
that last
game.
fight was really well done by him. He did that perfectly. I think he did vacuum first, did a wall in front of them. He's finally got mech, but I mean, he shouldn't have died first blood, for example. Deaths like that are huge. Because it gave Shadow Demon faster boots, things like that.
The Aghanim's is done for the Mirana. So where do you go from here if you're Empire? You have a Battle Fury on Afterlife. I don't think... Are you looking to farm a bit more? Because it seems like right now they're capable of doing that if they want to.
Well, the problem is basically that F5 is very strong early game fighting because of Darkseer plus PA kind of stuff where you weave in and out. Elder Titan's very strong at this point, and he's like farmed enough. Blink Dagger on Dragonite accomplishes a lot of the same thing. Their whole draft is centered, and their items are centered around the fact that they want to initiate repeatedly. Oh, he's almost going to kill Illidan here.
No. Now he's actually a little too far. That leap was
go in. He's got
really... That leap put him out of position.
Well,
they're not going to. They have a Blink up ready to go for BCZ, but he actually just used it, and so... Undershock is out of mana. If they know that he doesn't have any mana, they can continue to chase this, but it looks like they're not going to.
No, that's not it. They saw his mana. They easily saw his mana. They just didn't know where anybody else in the enemy team was. They thought that there might be 4. If you blink forward like that, and there's 3 heroes behind him, you just die instantly. They couldn't have known. The place they were walking at the time, they were walking through river like this, and they didn't have any wards in those locations. They didn't see anybody farming in the dire jungle. They didn't see anybody approaching the tier 2. It's dangerous to do those kind of moves.
Fair enough. They will keep Undershock alive. Armin is in the tree line, positioning himself for perfect Earth Splitter, but the Omni Slash does get off in time. Earth Splitter wasted. There's going to be the Demonic Purge. Call it. There's the Culling Blade Chop. The DK, the biggest, baddest boy on this Radiant team, now gone. TP home for the Elder Titan to make it out in time. They will finally lose their tier 1 tower in that bottom lane. The trade given up, though, his top lane's tier 1 tower is also gone at this point. And it will be a 1-for-1 or 1-for-0 exchange when it comes to heroes at the very least.
It was a good try, but you'd have to Earth Splitter like 0.7 seconds earlier than you blink stun, so very difficult kill to do when Dragonite's not like 16.
That was tough for sure.
Omni was definitely the right choice, though. He made absolutely the right choice there. Dodged all the spells while still doing lots of damage.
This is against also a DK, but it's level 4 Dragon's Blood as well, so...
But yeah, it was mostly about missing the Earth Splitter, though. If he would have gotten hit by that or the follow-up Echo Stomp, he would have just died right away.
So the trade is going to be Roshan for a tier 2 tower. Illidan trying to find ways to catch up. I think he's got 1 Mithril Hammer. A second is going to be completed very soon. So Desolator is not far off. They're getting there. Undershock will pick up the Aegis. They get the Roshan kill, and they've also picked up a Blade Mail for the axe on top of all of that.
It's looking really good for Empire, but F5 is getting another swing. Like you said, the Deso's almost finished, and something I haven't brought up this game, surprisingly, is that they've again got Elder Titan Aura to lower armor. Putting a Deso on top of that means some of these heroes that are just buying agility items are going to get shredded, actually. They're going to feel way squishier than they normally are. Juggernaut, for example, if he gets Desoed with the Elder Titanor, he's gonna have minus like 4 armor, which is completely unexpected for him. And he's got this really weak window where he just has Battle Fury. He also bought a Blink, so if they get to go on Jug and he isn't invulnerable through Omni Slash, they can actually just kill him almost immediately.
Unlike the other game where Afterlife had picked up a Diffusal Blade Manta, I believe it was.
Yeah.
Or it wasn't Afterlife, it might have been another
whatever
game that I'm
Jug.
thinking of.
I know what you're talking about. Yeah,
Yeah.
they went Diffusal Manta. But the big thing is Battle Fury actually makes you very vulnerable in terms of physical damage for this window until you get either your Manta or your SNY.
And there's going to be the Dragon Tail Undershock, one of the DD. He can't find it. He does have Leap. The Vacuum. Look at that crit coming in. Call Omni Slash Tail jumping through. The Weave on top. Walls there, but no Vacuum in. The Stomp still doing some work. Blade Fury's out. They want Illidan. They want to bring him down. 2 of the Shadow Poison stacks are up. He's very speedy, but now Afterlife blinks in, and well, the Blur is not going to save him in time. King R also brings him down, and Mirana will at least get Yol, but the Aegis will be at least traded forward. It's going to be the Undershock Aegis for Yol. On the Shadow.
So what happened to the PA in that fight? I missed that part.
She got Omni Slashed, a bunch of the damage was taken by that, and then she tried to run to the north and got caught by Afterlife blinking after and
It seemed like a really spread team fight, and Empire started in a good way, especially with the Tombstone. So everybody on F5 had to spread out, and Dazzle got solo killed. He did end up killing the Aegis at least, but only so much.
Misses the Dragon Tail. Vacuum back in. Great Earth Splitter Vacuum combination. Can they find something out of this? Ghostix pretty tanky here. Still a good stop onto 2. Now they get the Demonic Purge. Always want to fly. Guardian Greaves up. Can they bring down BZZ's? Very tanky. Not only that, but they should have Grave ready to go. Even if there is Calling Blade, he might not want to go back in. Healing Ward is doing some serious work, but Afterlife will TP out instead of staying and trying to find any return initiation.
Yeah, they don't have Grave. I think he should have maxed out Poison or Shadow Wave before Poison, but they need to get some kills here. They're kind of missing the mark again consistently for initiation. They did get the Axe, but they need to get like 3 or 4 kills to catch up. Look at the net worth. It's not even close right now. Power Battle Fury. Just gets so many items.
Yeah, he is starting to really remove himself from the pack. 3,000 difference between him and Undershock, and then it's a lot more between him and the DK on top of that. So, like you said, they're looking. The Smoke of Deceit was, I don't want to say desperate, but they really needed to find a kill there, and they were not able to do so. The Desolator is done, but it's not really finding them kills, especially with the last step.
They might with this ward though. They're gonna put an aggressive ward behind the tier 2. If they do spot Empire swinging out here, they scanned and did.
They have
see
a smoke.
F5,
If they smoke here, this is. Oh, if they drop a sentry down, I'd be shocked.
It wouldn't be that rare. I mean, with them standing there, if they're clearly making aggressive movements, putting a ward down is not uncommon. Dude, Shadow Demon is so farmed this game. He's 5-1-4 right now. He's got 2k gold past his Ghost Scepter.
Yeah.
My God.
I'm wondering what he's gonna buy next.
Force for sure.
Yeah, I think that's,
their team needs a force. Save
that's
whoever
what
gets initiated on.
Yeah.
And then they win fights.
Oh, that's
again, smoking under a
You
ward.
hate to see that. They immediately circle it out. It's Illidan that does the job, and also
They scanned it.
Scanned. I guess.
Okay, they definitely know.
That was kind of incredible.
Well, I mean, he expected where they were likely to go. They're going to go to the Radiant Jump. He used the Spirit. And once the Spirit passes through somebody, you can see the animation. So
true.
Instantly know that somebody's there. And they scan for it, so.
Blink Dagger up on the Shadow Demon. So even though both you and I thought it was going to be a Force Staff, Blink is going to be the choice. And so they want to be a bit more aggressive with Shadow Demon rather than being defensive and mobile.
Well, I mean, it's also defensive, though. He can sit far back from his team, and then whoever goes on, he could use, that skill that Shadow Demon has that saves people. I mean, who cares about Force Staff, right?
They all have Blink Daggers, though, too, I think, also. I mean, like, you can do the same thing with the Force Staff. Blink called, they'll find RMN at the very least. It's going to be the Blade Mail, and that's a dead-ass Earth Splitter. Good vacuum wall, but it might not be enough. Already, always would apply. Dug down, it's going to be another kill as BZZ's caught. It's going to rock in the hard place. Illidan will take down one of the Shadow Demon, gets crit. The Stifling Dagger, and of course the right clicks with BZZ. Triple kill for Ghostix. Niposhka will end up falling, but it's going to be another beautiful take coming out from that Starstorm that grabs them the 4th kill. Can they find the 5th? Blink is up in 1, and Yol called perfectly by Ghostix. They'll take him down. They'll take down all 5, and they'll give Ghostix an ultra kill. Jeez.
And played that team fight so perfect. They got the one hero that disrupts team fights. Dazzle's really not feeling any value this game now. His laning save was great, but all he's doing is Poison Touch and Shadow Waves. He is not as good of a hero as he needs to be right now. And with Elder Titan getting killed right at the start, that's just worst case for F5 there.
Yeah, the Elder Titan death was... Once you lose the natural order, once you lose the stomp and splitter capabilities, the fight becomes a little more cut and dry for Empire. Although they still lost a couple of heroes in the engagement, it's not like, you know, it was completely... They did lose... They almost lost Viposhka, and they did lose the Shadow Demon. I'm not sure if they did actually lose Viposhka. I think he did die.
The illusions chased him down and got him, I think. But I didn't see... Shadow Demon died, really?
Yes, Kingar did die to the PA.
Alright, well, they got 2 at least. That makes things a bit better. But the biggest thing is that BKB is now delayed for BZZ. He was like 300 gold away. They were just trying to be a little passive, I think, until they finished the BKB. But it's still not there yet. If they had it in that fight, they might have been able to win it. Minimum, they would have taken less magic damage, but... This SD's doing a lot of work, man. Catcher just does a lot against heroes like Dragon Knight.
Soul Catcher in general. I mean, like, that's... SD was one of the most picked heroes at TI6 for a reason.
But that was like the first... Dude, Soul Catcher's been in the game the whole time, though. The big difference is illusions, you know? Like, SD... And I'm only saying that because I love SD, and he has not been played very much. Like, occasionally a team will play him a little, like EG or somebody, if they like outplaying people, but SD has not been played that much, and I feel like people really are understanding the strengths of the hero right now. And it's around Shadow Poison and lots of others.
I mean, Soul Catcher I feel like was always good, it's just...
It was, yeah, definitely always good.
This is one of those abilities that you can expect to have a big impact. It's just that the other abilities, you didn't expect maybe the Shadow Poison to deal as much damage as it does, or even the illusions to do as much work as they did throughout the entirety of TI.
And to be honest, Disruption has always been a pretty good illusion skill. Just the real buff that changed it was the duration going up massively. In the past, it used to last max like 8 seconds or something.
I mean, it was like the Shadow Poison, and it kept getting buffed and buffed and buffed alongside his other skills, the Shadow Poison as well.
Yeah, all of his skills have been quite buffed over time. Soul Catcher is amazing though. If you cast it on Dragon Knight before you BKBs, it just stays on him. Any physical damage you do is buffed up. It's pretty great. Looks like PA is going for BKB next. Not too much surprise. The downside for her is that it's quite delayed. Ideally, you'd like to get a Deso, win team fights, and then buy a fast BKB to be ahead. But now she's struggling to catch up.
She needs to be KB though. A lot of magic damage coming out here, and still they have the call to go through it. They have Omni Slash and all the right click from Afterlife after picking up the Diffusal Blade, which will help in terms of just damage when BKB isn't on. It looks like BZZ and the rest of Fantastic.Five will try to make a play going outside, and they do have very good vision. Fantastic.Five do across the map. There was a gem, however, purchased up by the Shadow Demon, so he will be able to. Or he or whoever is holding the gem will be able to counter a lot of these wards that have been placed down recently.
Yeah, it's really good warding by Empire, actually. If you look at where all their wards are, they're all slightly offset. And you can see that based on the sentries on the map. There's always a Radiant sentry nearby where the observers are for Empire. But these are the kind of mind games you need to play to win games. Because if teams behind like F5, they can't afford the gem like you can. Then you get insane map control, and things get even harder for F5.
Absolutely. And, well... the good thing is they had that vision that was keeping them in the game. I feel like I mean, there were situations where they were setting up for ganks. Empire were setting up for ganks, but you know, F5 knew exactly where they were coming from because they had vision, you know, both mid and in the jungle. And now they've lost some of that vision. BZZ got caught with the Starstorm, but they didn't want to go any further. They don't know where the rest of this squad is, but they'll jump in call
great call.
Now there's going to be the Shivas on top of the Starstorm. Vacuum will go. Meanwhile, Omni Slash, they brought one down. The second will fall soon after, but actually, he gets out in time. Illidan's able to Phantom Strike away and make it through, but no, he'll drop. They'll try to TP out. The arrow coming in. Always what a fight will be the third to go down as Undershock picks up a beautiful double kill. Again, the Starstorm. It's too strong, that ability. This hero. It's
good, but it was really about the call for Ghost Stick there. Able to grab 2 heroes, especially important ones. I believe that was Dazzle and Dragon Knight. They just bursted them down so heavily. And they got an Omni Slash off when they're standing next to each other, which means Q damage and all that good stuff.
Yeah,
it was great initiation.
It was Illidan and BGC, so it was almost 2 of the carries dying, but Illidan was able to Phantom Strike to Yol, I believe, and stay alive at the tail end of that call somehow.
So
look at Rax now.
Yeah. Pick up here. I mean, everything looks so good on paper for F5. It's the same story of every other game that we've seen from them today. It looks so good on paper, but they're just not quite executing well. I feel like that's really the difference between this kind of a playstyle for a team like F5 and a team like Phoenix. Phoenix has arguably some of the best coordination in the world in terms of how they play the team fights and how they back each other up and how they're always on the same page. But F5 is not hitting that level of synergy, and it's causing them a lot of mid-game and late-game team fight problems.
I completely agree with you, but if they do lose this game, it's going to be 4 in a row where they've been very close, but they've just missed out narrowly on some of these engagements. And I think as a captain, you have to do your best to just sit back and provide, support and say, listen, we're very close at a lot of these. If we could just clean our act up, we can win these games. Hopefully they don't get too tilted. If they do lose this game, the game is not over yet. I don't want to make it sound like the game's over. It's obviously a very bad position for Fantastic.Five being down 20k net worth, but still doable later on down the road.
Yeah, definitely is a possibility. They just got to get their stuff together and win some fights, and they're really scared right now. They haven't been able to contest Roche very easily. All the waves are pushing in. They have to go back, and this is slightly convenient for them because Empire is looking to initiate at the moment. So they could have just taken Roche right now. They don't really know. They'll see PA back, and they almost surely are going to run straight into Roche right now and just finish it off because they know their opponents are across the map. Yeah, that's exactly what they'll do. Push lanes with Axe so that there's less vision for F5. They won't feel comfortable crossing into their jungle, and this should be Roche falling hard and easy.
It will. It'll go down pretty quickly too. They have a lot of damage on Afterlife. He's farmed very extraordinarily well. Mirana as well, but Afterlife with the Battle Fury in particular has died once this game. Undershock has died once as well, but both of these heroes finding great kills, finding great farm, and will continue to take over this game. They'll probably put their attention towards bottom lane and try to get a set of racks here. There is a split push coming top lane, but I don't think it'll be fast enough for them to really warrant any TPs back from Empire at this point, especially with Starstorm clearing out these group waves almost instantly.
They're super ready to fight. The Shiva's Guard's going to do a lot as well on the Axe just to reduce the overall damage output for F5. They have everything going right.
Oh, here comes the siege. Undershock, he's going to be able to right click from the high ground at this point. He's the one with the Aegis. No surprises there. Meanwhile, the Jug has got his illusions going to work, which is always nice. See it through tower, taking some hits. Here we go, though. They're going to jump it from the backside. Back wall coming out. The BKB, they've got one. King R's down. Call not there yet. This is not a great fight so far from Empire, but BZZ, Omni Slash, Blink coming through. They have the Guardian Greaves, though, coming out. They can turn this if they want. Afterlife now backing away. Undershock still. Starstorm back up in 4 seconds. The passage still doing work. Yol might fall and will. Undershock very deep in it. Always want to fly. Might be next. The arrow will grab the kill. They've got the call on BZZ, and they've got the kill. 3 down. They're forced to buy back on that Darkseer, but it looks like this might be the end of it here as they're going to sit with Moonlight Shadow. Vacuum back in. No wall this time around. Justice up. Undershock has been spotted. Called it to the Starstorm to come up. A triple kill. 4 dead. GG is called. And Empire will move on. Fantastic.Five with a rough day. Go 0-4 today. And what was some very close games and good ideas purged, but it's just not enough this time around.
That fight was really great for F5, but the problem was they're just so far behind. Like, Dragon Knight did no attack speed. He's actually slower. It was as if he had brown boots at that point because of the Shiva's offsetting all of his advantages attack speed. They were just too far behind. They needed some of those early mid-game fights to go well, but they had trouble starting the fights. They had trouble winning the fights. I love their drafts, but they are not quite ready to execute them. And clearly Empire and Escape Gaming are really showing to be better teams. But really, honestly, Empire is really impressed me.